The Box by J.C. Welch. Chapter 5. I entered the library in 3 short days, and picked up a book in a day and a half. I put it back down in 27 days, but decided to read it, which took 5 years. I'm a slow reader, what can I say? I get beat up by women for just trying to read their shirts, but they must think I'm staring at their breasts. The book I read was called Book, and that sounded good to me. I read it, and I couldn't put it down because there was superglue on the cover. The book was a great story with a happy fairy tale ending that I didn't care for. Let me read some of it for you to enjoy, and then you can read it. Once there lived a pebble. I don't know how it was living and how it got there, but it was there. It sat in the grass waiting for something to happen, but it never did. The wind blew the trees, moving the little pebble, but that's all there was. The pebble didn't know it, but as it was rolling, dirt was collecting on it, and it appeared to be growing. It was turning into a big pebble, and as it rolled, it was becoming a small stone. Then a kid kicked it into the lake, and as it rolled into the lake, it became a big stone. It hit the water and sank to the bottom where many other stones sat. It became friends with the other stones, and rolling along the lake bottom, it became a rock. He hung out with the other rocks and fell in love. He connected himself with a lot of other rocks and became a boulder. It got married and had a lot of children. They were all a chip off the old rock, making pebbles of its own. They became a big boulder family, and they lived happily ever after. The end. It took me 5 years to read the 2 paragraphs of the book, and the library closed down 3 years ago. I was locked in the library, and the books were all looking at me. So was the mirror, and I started to get scared. My reflection scared me, and it was scared too. That story reminded me of the pet rock I had as a kid, but it killed itself by throwing itself in the lake. I guess the rock was scared of me too, but I never tried killing myself to get away from myself. I tried leaving myself once, but it didn't work very well. I tried throwing myself in the lake, but it was full of water. I drowned, but I was still alive. I walked back to the box from the library after being locked in there for 5 years. I wondered if the box was still there. Surprisingly, it was still there, and it was frozen to the ground like frozen marshmallows on glass. The box missed me with every bullet it shot at me, and how a box can fire a gun I will never understand. I missed the box too, but in a different way, kind of like how a unicorn misses a naked nymph on its back. I hate holiday weekends. I have to write more in my stories. I just thought I'd write that down. I don't want to forget that. I went to the box, and somebody was waiting for me. I didn't recognize him at first, but it was my old friend, Michael. He lost a bit of weight, and I was quite surprised to see him in the box, if you know what I mean. When I knew him back in the day, he seemed a little light in the loafers. But then again, he was never light. His whole family was big. He had a little brother who was shaped like the Titanic, and his mother looked like she ate the Titanic. Michael and I talked for a little while. We talked about the old days and the new days. Then we talked, and then we talked. We talked, and we talked. Then talked, and then talked. We did a lot of talking, and we did talk a lot. We talked until he left, and then he left after we got done talking. Then I realized we didn't talk about anything at all. We just said hi to each other for 4 hours. It was great catching up with good old Michael, though, and it was really great to say hi again, too. He was the same old Michael I used to know. He gained 100 pounds while I was just talking to him. By the time he left, he looked like the same old Michael, too. The same old Michael. Mikey. I didn't know him any other way. I didn't even know his last name. He was Hispanic, though, so maybe I should have called him Miguel. I was in the box again, happily eating some apple pie my mommy left me. Wait, the pie that my mommy left me? My mommy was in the box, too? This story's sure getting interesting if I do say so myself. I won't have to say so myself, because so is a hard word to say. Besides, I'm the only one saying anything. I'm the only one here. The reader can only read and not respond. If you were to respond, I wouldn't listen. It's not that I don't want to listen, I can't listen. No, I'm not deaf, I'm just somewhere else. You're reading the story somewhere where I can't hear you, like your living room, bedroom, dining room, classroom, library, study, laundry room, jail cell, and maybe even your coffin. I'm writing this in my room, my box, so to speak. I hope you are enjoying reading this story, though, because I'm enjoying writing it. I'm also really enjoying this pie my mommy made. I sat on the couch eating the pie and watching TV. Before I knew it, I ate all the pie and I had a mess to clean up. I toweled off and dried myself. The cream was all over my face and hair. I also got some pie in my eye, and I was partially blind for 23 minutes. It was an apple cream pie, if there is such a thing. But if there isn't, I'll just say it was my wife's vanilla cream pie. She couldn't cook, but she could bake. I liked her chocolate cake better, but I don't remember her ever making one, though. It might have been someone else's, because I was half asleep when I ate it. I couldn't remember the night before either, it was just a blur, and it was yesterday. I was sitting on the couch, and the payphone outside started to ring. I dropped my pie on the ground without realizing it was still on my lap, and I started to cry. Depressed, I crawled out of the box. I answered the phone, but it was too late. The caller had hung up, and I crawled back into the box. I looked at the pie face down on the floor, and I cried some more. The box began to fill up with tears, and the homeless man next door had to build a dam out of trash cans and a dumpster. I stopped crying because I was beginning to drown. The box was also starting to break apart, and I had to repair the box by replacing the duct tape. I bought the wrong kind. I bought duck tape instead. I knew it was duck tape because it quacked all the way back to the box. Quack, it said. Oink, I said, thinking it was a pig. Moo, it said. Then I was really confused. Meow, I said in response, and attempted to tape up the box with it. The box was wet, and the tape didn't stick. Luckily the day was hot, and the box dried quickly. The tape stuck for 2 seconds, and in that 2 seconds I was truly happy. The box fell apart, and I cried for 12 days, and that equals 3 weeks. I was depressed for that whole month, and the box healed itself. I was better again, and I crawled back into the box. I'm sorry, I couldn't kill the star of the story. What would replace it? A garbage can? A dumpster? I'm not changing the title of the story. The story will remain The Box. The dumpster sounds stupid anyway. You can't be friends with a dumpster. Dumpsters don't talk. And besides, I already printed the box on the title page. The box was special. What other box has a world inside it? It's a very special world it is, but it might be a bit special ed. The box isn't special ed, but I might be. The box is really special. No other box has this power. You could try it if you want to, but I doubt you'll see what I see. Right now I see something. I need binoculars to see better. She looked half man and sounded half woman. She wore a dress and a sweet. I think I spelled that wrong. Let's see. There's a T and an H. There's an A and a T. Yeah, I spelled hat. I forgot the T again. I knew I should have worn a t-shirt. I felt naked, but I think I might be special ed. I was back in the box again, and I was happy. I never wanted to leave again, but the garbage truck came and dumped me out of the box. I was in the truck full of trash, and the dead pop stars were dumped out too. It looked like Hollywood threw up in there, and I was in the middle of it. I was depressed again, and in a pile of waste. The gossip was terrible, and there was a rumor going around that I was sleeping with my hand. It's true, but everybody sleeps with their hands. If I didn't sleep with my hands, I'd be handless and mindless. I'm losing body parts by the sentence. Where's my butt? Oh yeah, I'm sitting on it. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. Wait, where is it? It's in the mirror, but I can't grab it. The glass is in the way, and my head is right there on the other side of the glass, staring at me. I needed to break the glass somehow, and grab it. I broke the glass, but got 7 years bad luck. I didn't live 7 years, though. I got beaten to death by a nice old man. He killed me in a nice way. He spit in my eye, he bit my nose, and he ripped out my tongue. He then beat me to death with my own tongue, in a nice way, while he laughed hysterically. He then dragged my lifeless body and dumped my body in a barrel filled with acid. A nice old man, a little crazy, but a nice old man. He made me cookies afterwards, but I couldn't eat them. They smelled like burnt flesh. Wait, that was me. They were good cookies, though. I loved them. He made the best cookies ever, and I wouldn't have known that if I didn't break the mirror. The pop stars were annoying me to death, and I died. I was happy to hear the sound of nothing and not seeing trash. I was in the box again when I woke up from death. I was just enjoying heaven and being in a world without pop stars and trash too. I woke up from that nightmare with a long piercing girly scream, and I woke up the neighbors who were sleeping together. I slept apart with my legs on the floor and my body on the couch. My head liked the bed, but it doesn't really need the whole queen-sized bed. All a head really needs is a pillow, and my head has 3. Only 2 of them I sleep with, and the other I take to hotels to sleep with. Pillows make good lovers. I should marry one of them. That'd be a nice honeymoon. I'd sleep with it, and then I'd sleep with it. I shouldn't have slept in class. That's how I flunked kindergarten the first time. I hated school and tests. I always failed tests. I even failed the surveys. They would ask me my name at the top, and I'd write name. They'd ask me my sex, and I'd say not very much. They'd ask me what body I'd like to change, and I'd pick my nose. I'd eat it, and it would taste delicious. It'd be supper time at the Welch house, or at least it'd be a handy snack. I'd ruin my dinner eating boogers all day. Boogers are addicting. They remind me of gummy worms, and sometimes they taste like them too. Maybe this is why I fail surveys. I always go into details in surveys. Too much information, but it isn't the right information either. Someone could be talking about gardens, and I'll be talking about bathrooms. I've gotten the two mixed up at times, and I've made a garden grow that way too. I've thought about growing a garden, but it's kind of hard in the middle of the street. All those cars honking at me and ruining my concentration. I need the privacy too. It's too out in the open. Perhaps I should grow a garden at night, but don't gardens need sunlight too? It'd be too much work anyway, but if I had the time, I'd be a good gardener. I walked somewhere, but I didn't know where. I had to walk back to the box, but I didn't realize how far I was. I walked for about 3 hours when a female jogger passed me. She had a word on her butt. Not on her butt, but the butt of her jogging shorts. She looked back, catching me looking at her butt, and she gave me a dirty look. I told her I was reading, and 2 minutes later she was still in front of me, and I was still looking at her butt. She looked back and asked me what I was doing. I told her that I was still reading, and that it wasn't my fault that I was a slow reader. Actually it was. I knew I should have paid attention in reading class. I thought she would buy it, but she didn't. She really did have a foxy butt, and I told her that. She slapped me, and then slapped me with a sexual harassment suit. She was jogging away laughing, and I passed out. I laid there and wondered why she slapped me. I wondered why I passed out, and I wondered why she was jogging so slow. I got up crying, and I walked home crying too. She slapped me, and I was hurt. My cheek hurt, and my feelings were hurt. I think I was bleeding, but I wasn't sure because my right eye was swollen shut. I limped back to the box, which took quite a bit longer than when I said it. Finally I got to the box, and I looked into the mirror. I scared myself, more than usual, really. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I was more hideous than ever. I looked like a toilet after not flushing for 60 years, or Michael Jackson after surgery. I scared myself so badly that my soul flew out of my body and rolled under the couch. It was dark under there, and I couldn't hear anything. It was like I was going deaf and blind at the same time. Except I couldn't feel anything either, because I tried touching something and I went right through it. Good thing I couldn't see myself again. Maybe I was a vampire. I stayed under the couch and fell asleep. The darkness tired me out, so did just doing nothing. One more chapter down. I'd like to apologize for, the ending of the narration. I was, getting over a cold. I still am. But if you still like the narration, like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you next chapter.